Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna...
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone Messiah, Phillip Brandon, joined by the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon Tanguma. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. BT, how you doing, man?
Hey guys, I think we've been a little low period post WrestleMania, but we have a big week. A lot of news to talk about, to be honest. Outside the ring. It's gonna be a great episode.
Yes, Brandon did a recap of Double or Nothing. Go check that out on the feed. It's been up for a couple days. I saw some clips. I need to sit down and really watch some stuff. Shout out to Edge and Christian, man. The first time they've held tag titles together, or in 25 years. Congratulations to them. I saw like clips from Stadium Stampede. The intro to Stadium Stampede was fun. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman, 3-time Triple B.
Yeah, great show. Maybe best show of the year thus far, especially for AEW, maybe in wrestling in general.
I've heard people say this.
I mean, top to bottom, I thought it was a fantastic show. I was not a fan of the Stadium Stampede match because you guys know I take my stuff seriously, and I thought it was a little too funny, haha. But outside of that, I thought everything was very good.
Too seriously, you're the biggest Danhausen fan I know.
Oh, the biggest Danhausen fan.
Bro, can we talk about Danhausen?
I don't know. That might be my manager, because my manager be talking about Danhausen. He might book a $200 cameo from Danhausen.
Can we talk about Danhausen possibly having an effect on the NBA championship?
Well, it ain't gonna happen because Spurs took it to Game 7. They're gonna beat the Thunder's ass on Saturday, and then they're gonna go into New York, into hollow grounds of MSG, and they're gonna sweep.
What? So I mean, but the Knicks are undefeated right now in the conference, right?
Well, I don't know.
They're 3-0 right now.
They're not undefeated. Well, that's not how it works. But they have the biggest point differential in like playoff history. So like they're having the most dominant run we've ever seen. Now, some people, you could argue that it's because the East was very weak, but I think listen to Kerbal and Church. I'll see one more to talk about this, but I feel as though the narrative has switched from, oh yeah, the East just sucks, so it's whoever between the Spurs Thunder game is going to win the championship, to where the Knicks, I think, are like a legit challenger to the West right now. They're that good.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on, man. We have a lot to talk about. Big Damo and Nikki Cross buy Progress and Defy Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the shutdown of Defy Wrestling, but Big Damo and Nikki Cross, they have bought, if you didn't know, they're together. They're married, I believe. But two very big wrestling promotions, one in the UK and then one in the Seattle Northwest area, were purchased from them. And this is fantastic news just because Progress is kind of like one of the birthplaces of like a lot of your favorite UK wrestlers, like Will Ospreay, like basically started there, and then a lot of the people that are on WWE right now, and then Defy, Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, Kevin Knight, I think has been up there. A lot of these West Coast people go up there, so it is nice that kind of maybe the indie scene for both in the US and the UK might be getting a little jolt of energy because. We've talked about it. Your local indie might be doing great, but I think as a whole, now that kind of WWE and AEW are kind of sweeping up a lot of talent, that maybe the indie scene might not be as strong in terms of being like their own promotion, being on a national level. On the local level, maybe they're doing great, but it's not as strong as it has been in the past. So it's fun to see what might happen with that.
Yeah, let's see what they do. Is Kentis he was the Defy champion recently, right?
I'll be honest, I have no idea. But let's see.
Yeah. Something like that. Something like that was going on. But yeah, no, that I'm excited to see what happens with these two companies and under the ownership and leadership of Big Damo and Nikki Cross. I mean, taking everything that they learned during both their stints in WWE and Big Damo really touring the indies since his departure from the company. So let's see what happens now.
Yep. We have a WWE shareholder lawsuit update. Big news has happened the past couple days. This started, I believe, in 2023 when the shareholders started this lawsuit. And basically, the gist of it is they are saying that Vince McMahon knowingly took the deal with Endeavor, with Ari Emanuel, that then later turned into TKO, because he knew it was like a quid pro quo kind of thing that he would have power if he sold. And, and they're arguing that he could have sold to a better person, but he probably could have lost power. And now
He lost power anyway.
some stuff has come out to where there's Signal chats, which if you don't know Signal, it's like a kind of one of those encrypted messaging platforms, and there's evidence to show that a lot of people have been turning off like the or turning on the auto delete function for conversations that they've had with Vince McMahon. Um, Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, a bunch of people. And so now the kind of lawsuit has turned. I'm not a legal person, so I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but it seems as though the people who need to prove their point has more turned to the defense instead of the prosecution, to where now there's a lot of quote unquote facts because there's not enough evidence. The lack of evidence has turned into the defense has to prove that they are innocent more than the shareholders need to prove that the defense is guilty, if that makes any sense to you guys. So
Anybody
it's
can be a lawyer, man. Just watch Law and Order.
exactly. So this has been years in the making, but now we're kind of getting to the point to where it's starting to get real, and like some decisions might be made by the end of this year. So, and this could be millions and millions of dollars. And we've talked about TKO shedding talent, cutting talent. This might have a little bit to do with it, because if they have to pay out hundreds of millions of dollars in shareholder settlements, you know, a couple $100,000 here and there is going to help them. So, is that the wait
So
and see on that?
give a summary of everything that just happened.
So basically, the summary. I mean, I kind of gave the summary that the there what oh, God damn it. I should have pulled up one of the articles, because not Brandon Thurston, but Post Wrestling has kind of like been on this one in terms of what has been going on. If
So because of conversations with Vince McMahon, they could lose millions of dollars. Is that what you're saying?
they're saying that Vince McMahon took a deal, that Vince McMahon took the Endeavor deal because he knew that if he took that deal, that he would still hold power. Now, let's just say if he were to sign with Disney, then he could have been ousted. But for layman's terms, he took a $1 billion deal with Endeavor when he could have taken a $5 billion deal with Disney. But if he took the $5 billion deal with Disney, he would have lost power and would have been kicked out. But legally, he should have taken the $5 billion deal because it's more beneficial to the company and to the shareholders. That's kind of the crux of the lawsuit and the complaint here.
Damn. So they're suing the company and not Vince.
Okay, so I found something to where so there's these articles that are proven to be true. Like, this is a fact. They cannot dispute these facts in the lawsuit. So everyone, this is what I'm saying. Like, the defense has to prove that they're not guilty compared to the prosecution has to defend that the other people are guilty. So McMahon's decision making regarding the merger was influenced by Emmanuel's promises that he would remain at WWE and have legal support for federal investigations into allegations of sexual misconduct. McMahon had decided to pursue a deal with Endeavor before the WWE began a strategic review process. Khan communicated with Emmanuel in 2022 to facilitate the deal, and McMahon and Khan worked with their financial advisor to steer negotiations towards Endeavor and away from other potential bidders. So that's kind of the crux of the lawsuit and what is going to have to go on in the coming months and probably years.
So they could have made even more money.
They could have made more money, but Vince decided to go with Ari Emanuel because
He thought he was going to still have power.
he was going to be able to still book and be the guy, which we saw that because the initial sexual misconduct allegations came out,
Well,
he left.
2022, right?
He left, but then there was that point where he came back, and so I think that was definitely a factor to where he knew if he had someone that he wasn't aligned with, he probably could have gotten pushed out because he didn't hold the same power he had once, when it was
Yeah,
his
he came
company.
back. Roman beat Cody at 39, and then Vince really went away, and then yeah, then Hunter really took. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. FTR's contracts are ending.
So not ending, but there is allegedly a contract option for FTR that is coming up due. And so people are speculating that, oh, maybe they will jump ship to WWE. I don't think so. I feel as though FTR is like just the prototypical AEW talent to where they love wrestling, they love tag team wrestling, they want to do their own thing, and they can do that in AEW. They can't exactly do that in WWE. Now, from a strategic standpoint, I would assume WWE would love to take them away from AEW, but it would boost the health of the tag team division. But we've been saying for years, if not decades now, that we want WWE to have a stronger tag team division. They just never do it.
Bro, it was look, man. When the Usos had them two titles, that tag division was on lock. They battled everybody, and the matches were just stellar, man. I mean, RK Bro, Boogs. I mean, well, Boogs and Shinsuke, the injury happened, but there's Profits, like the New Day, like just kept going after guys, and it elevated everyone. I mean, Sammy and KO, the culmination of Mania 39. Like, I don't know what we got to do to get this division back. I mean, hell, on SmackDown before they released all those guys, they were cooking. The Profits holding the titles, and then DIY, the Machine Guns, the Wyatt Six. Like the fact that they finally got a SummerSlam match, when they could have easily just thrown them on a pay per view and just had like a good sneaky 12-minute tag.
Yeah, FTR, I think have been. I talked a little bit about this on the Double or Nothing recap. I think they've been one of the most important signings in AEW history because
No,
they've
they're I
been,
mean for phenomenal. They're great talent. Hey, they're top guys.
yeah, the top guys, and they will not be top guys out. I believe in AEW. I think they will stay. They've been just so consistent. They've had one of, if there's a culmination of best matches in AEW history, they're probably all over that with the Young Bucks and
That I mean, hell, even Ring of Honor, but the tag dog collar match with the Briscoes.
yeah.
Just I mean, look at all the titles they collected: AAA, IWGP, AEW, Ring of Honor. Just man.
Now, if they're in kind of one last gasp, cash in and make money, then maybe. But I think at this point we're seeing TKO not shedding, not spending what maybe other wrestlers want them to spend, and so maybe this could be kind of
You
a
know,
shift to where AEW turns into the big spenders. If Tony Khan wants to flex his muscles a little bit and like take some talent, I think this is where he could kind of maybe shift the war, quote unquote.
FTR has to stay, bro, because at All In we're gonna get FTR versus the Bucks versus Cage and Copeland versus the New Day, bro.
Or we get a triple threat TLC match and everyone cosplays as, one of those teams. And then
I
the New
say
Day
just
comes out
throw
at the
Edge and
end.
Chris. Edge and Chris, they got one more in them.
Yeah, Edge and Christian will cosplay as the Hardys.
No,
The Young Bucks cosplay as ENC, and then
Edge.
FTR
I'm
are the
saying Edge and
Dudleys.
Christian can be Edge and Christian.
I know. I mean, that's what people are saying. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I would have. Let's be honest. They probably going to do something like that to where they're going to have the triple threat TLC. They won't call it TLC, but they'll call it like a ladder. I forget what the ladder wars. I think is like what they
Or
call it in ROH. But
or no, what are they? Oh no, they can't do that because the Lucha Bros aren't there. Remember Escalera de la Muerte? You remember that one?
see,
Yeah, I mean, good stuff. I'm
look at that.
excited.
Look at Phillip
New,
with the AEW history.
I was there. Them AAA tag titles.
There it is.
It's yeah. That was good stuff. New Japan ownership change. Oh,
Yeah, we have a big, as much as we just talked about Progress and Defy Wrestling, this one is probably bigger. So Bushi Road, which is like a collectible company, has owned New Japan or majority share for a long time, about 12, 14 years. So they took New Japan and they took it to the new heights when they were at their peak about 10 years ago. And they sold a majority of their shares to TV Asahi, which is the television company that's been with New Japan for years, for decades, pretty much like almost the entirety of the company. And I don't want to get the name right. Is it Cyber Agent? I believe is the yeah, Cyber Agent, which also owns DDT Noah and Tokyo Joshi Pro. So Bushiroad is completely out on New Japan, and so now um, they are under new management. And when you're under new management, things tend to happen. So we'll have to wait and see what that means. And if you remember those names I just said, DDT, and Noah, they have had some associations with WWE. So I think from an international standpoint, we'll see what happens with New Japan with the relationship with CMLL and AEW. Literally on Wednesday night, I guess Thursday morning Japanese time, they announced that the AEW television will no longer be held on New Japan World. Now they say that's a contract. The contract is ending. Um, that's the reasoning for it. It wasn't like we determined to terminate this agreement right now, but Forbidden Door is coming up next month in San Jose. That could be the last Forbidden Door we see between New Japan and AEW. Um, Maybe New Japan dips its toe in the WWE water a little bit. I don't know. And then also, New Japan has not been that great recently. Gedo, the booker, has had its ups and downs recently. So then I wonder if they will have a kind of change of scenery
Is that
inside with New Japan.
is that Gaijin? Is he still the champion?
Not Chase Owens. Oh my God.
We just
Clark,
talked
not,
about him a couple weeks ago.
I know. That's on me. Guys, I'm the New Japan guy. I should remember this, but, I am absolutely blanking on his name right now. Callum Newman. Thank you. I kept wanting to say
Yes,
like the guys who are in AEW, but no, it's Callum Newman.
yes. I mean, we'll see what they do. I mean, AEW. I mean, have they worked with Noah or no? I mean, no, I know WWE is working with Noah. I mean, like, there's other like DDT. There's Marvelous. Like, there are other companies out there if they do want to keep that Japanese connection. And then maybe they team up with other companies like Progress or things like that to see what else they have out there.
So yeah, I think this is underratedly could be one of the biggest stories of the year. Just to see what New Japan does for the remainder of 2026 under new management.
Yes, sir. There was an NWO pitch in 2020.
Yeah, so former creative team member was on the frenemies of this podcast, the Public Enemies. Shout out our boy Brian Tronick. But he said that apparently there was a pitch in 2020, at the height of COVID, to have a return of the NWO, and they were going to fly out a former NWO member. There was not a name specified. And the NWO that was pitched was going to be Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, um, oh my God, Shinsuke Nakamura,
Cesaro.
Sheamus, Cesaro, and oh my God, the top one that everyone is clowning on. Um, Jesus Christ, I am completely butchering the setup right now.
This kind of sounds like well, Sami Zayn had that conspiracy group with Shinsuke and Cesaro. So is that what this morphed into?
It could have been. It was one of those things where maybe they were just kind of throwing everything at the wall, and it did not happen. Here
Well,
we go.
I'm
Hold on,
glad it
hold
did.
on, hold on. I'm
Glad it did
completely
not.
blanking on the name. I got this. We got this. Possibly. Uh, oh my God. There's a way I want to describe who it is, but I don't really want to use those words. If you,
Just say who it was, bro.
if I knew who it was, I would say Lars Sullivan. There it is. That was the guy. I wanted to say the guy who was in the gay porns. You guys remember that? He said some bad things about gay people,
Oh my God!
and then it
Yeah.
turned out that he was in some gay films in his early days. Yeah, so there's a blast from the past, guys.
All right.
And that
Anyway,
was WWE in 2020, guys. We also like to
AAA
black that
has a
out of our
new
mind.
AAA has a new general manager. And it's Rey Mysterio. Um, Shout out to him. Curtis Axel got arrested. Jeez, what's going on, man?
Yeah, so we talked about Ludwig Kaiser Grande Americano allegedly got arrested a couple weeks ago. That was kind of not want to say funny, but it was almost more
But
good. It
hey,
was almost more good PR for him than bad PR.
when they found out that like because when we saw Battery, we were like but then they found out like he was beating up a man in a woman's honor. We're like, okay, cool. And then
And
he
shout
got
out Gunther for paying the $1,000 bond for him to get out.
boy got a standing ovation after that one.
But unfortunately, this one seems a little bit more sad, where Curtis Axel got arrested for DUI at a McDonald's parking lot, and it seems as though Curtis Axel, unfortunately, it seems as he's fallen on hard times in the past few years.
Isn't he? Doesn't he still work backstage?
He does not. He worked back in 2022, but I guess he has like $21,000 in debt he owes to like a credit to American Express, I believe. He got arrested. This was a couple weeks ago, but the mugshot came out yesterday, and kind of a lot of details of the situation and kind of what he's been going through legally came out. So, T's and P's to Curtis Axel. Hopefully, he can get his life together.
Yeah, man. No, season P's. We do have one fan mail this week in Brightest Day X, the Hall of
Mr.
Famer.
X, welcome back.
Yes, he says, "What's the end game for Osprey and the Death Riders?" Sure, you can answer that once we get to that portion of the podcast. Getting the SmackDown. Sami Zayn's backstage trying to talk to Nick Aldis. Cody comes in the frame. Cody leaves. Sami's talking crap behind Cody's back, like, oh, the Golden Boy gets whatever he wants. He gets all the TV time he wants. Cody and Sami have a match later on that night. Cody defeats Sami. Gunther's out there, and he chokes out Cody, and Sami just walks away.
Nah, I thought it was a good little story, kind of scattered throughout, continuing down the road of the Sami Zayn story to where, in his mind, he's doing the right thing, but clearly he keeps doing bad things, and he, had the option to save Cody, but he did not. I did like how there was not like a terrible finish. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of shenanigans at the very end, but Cody just kind of beat Sami, which should be the finish because they're doing something with Sami, but Cody Rhodes is obviously a much bigger priority in that company, so that he should just beat him, and that's what happened. And we'll probably tell a story of Sami further going down the rabbit hole or whatever the end game of this is.
Sami cost Cody the title, and they feud while Gunther defends against other people.
Possibility, but you just had Sami lose to Cody right now. I don't know why you would have like go right back to that after that, but
I mean, what else? He cost Cody the title. Cody wants to beat that ass. It's simple money.
and then Sami just loses, and then he just
No, I'd say give Sami a win. Who cares? You can do that. Hell, you can probably get a triple threat out of that. There's some stuff you could do. Trick Williams defeats Carmelo Hayes with some Ricky Saints interference.
yeah, match was fine, but you kind of expected something to happen with the finish, and Ricky Saints came out and attacked Melo, so that's kind of like where they're going with that. I still kind of wish Carmelo Hayes and Trick would kind of like get back together and almost like kick Lil Yachty to the curb, and they can just kind of run back their NXT partnership. Um,
As baby, oh.
well, it's like clearly they don't have much for like Carmelo Hayes to be like a top guy. So if he can, I don't want to say he's Trick's sidekick, but I think them together is almost better for I think for both of them, to be honest. Like if you're gonna pair somebody with Trick, I'd rather be with Carmelo Hayes than with Lil Yachty, frankly. But
Hey, bro, you don't like your boy Lil Yachty?
I like Lil Boat, but he's
Lil Bo.
he's just still hanging around, still here. He's kind of like,
I mean, he's not bad at it.
yeah, it's kind of like that uncle that maybe hangs around the party a little too long. You're like, all right, we're not having like a bad time right now, but I kind of want to like go to bed, and I think it's time to go home.
He's that uncle that can hang around and still go.
Yep. We're not having a bad time. It's fun, but we're kind of like, all right, it's time to wrap it up, brother.
It's time to take a break. I'll see you in like a couple months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you maybe like around August time.
We shall see. Logan Paul tore his tricep at Saturday night's main event, and apparently he was awake during his surgery. Ugh.
Yeah, tough situation. I know maybe Logan Paul's not everyone's favorite person in the world, but this Vision faction just kind of seems cursed. Everyone's getting hurt except for Austin Theory.
Did Danhausen
Did he curse? Well, he did curse him, and I don't know if he ever uncursed him. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks because I thought Logan Paul was kind of doing some pretty good work. I think he's kind of felt he's transitioned from being a celebrity wrestler to a wrestler who happens to be a celebrity to and yeah, so now they're just freebirding it with the tag titles.
Bro, when Logan Paul was, at the height of the videos and the boxing and all that, did you ever think this guy would come in and be a full-time WWE superstar?
Well, Philip, when I saw that video of him in that forest in Japan,
Well, let's not talk. I'm not talking.
I never would have thought that guy would be a WWE champion
I'm not. I was. Yeah, I forgot about that. Wasn't even talking about that. Just
with his little Toy Story alien hat on.
yeah, yeah, not the best decisions that brother has made. Tis tis. AEW Redemption, July 26th in Montreal. What are they going to redeem the screw job?
Maybe, who knows? But we have another pay-per-view announcement for AEW. They are that bumps it up to 10 pay-per-views for the year, and they will be going to Montreal. So they were just in Canada for, I believe, World's End a couple months ago. So now they return back in Montreal, July 26th. So yeah, these AEW pay-per-views seem to always uh, pull through, and the Canadian crowd, Montreal crowd, will probably be very hot because they've not been starved because I think they've had their fair share of WWE shows, and but I believe this is probably definitely the biggest AEW show they've had so far.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Monday Night Raw. Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns sound off for Tribal Combat. They signed the contract. They make a blood oath. Roman Reigns tells Jacob Fatu, if you can't dog walk me, I'm going to walk you like a dog and domesticate you. And then you'll have to acknowledge me. And then Jacob says, well, hey, man, even if I don't win, I still got a job here, but I'm going to beat your ass, take the title in the Ula Fall, and you will have to acknowledge me. Yada, I mean.
I thought a really good segment from both these guys. They didn't kind of do the whole, yell at each other, brawl like we've seen a lot in this feud, especially. So it kind of like, changes the tone a little bit, but also kind of reinforces what tribal combat means. So I like that. Yeah,
Yes, if you go on their YouTube channel, there was a director's cut of Solo versus Roman Tribal Combat.
oh, director's cut.
Yeah.
What does a director's cut of a match mean?
You're going to have to go watch and find out.
Oh, there you go. That's what we call a tease.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar explains his unretirement.
Yeah, I said last week that I think there was a lane for them to explain it, and I thought they did okay. I think they could have maybe gone a little bit more in depth on his reasoning because he was just like, yeah, in the moment I thought I retired, but then I just came back. Like I
Couldn't go
think
out like that. It's simple. Like it's just simple. Like you beat my ass. I can't go out like that. Come on now. And then Obafemi comes out there, signs a contract on Paul Heyman's chest, and he lets Paul Heyman know, I'm not. Oh, last time I was trying to beat Brock Lesnar. This time I'm going to kill Brock Lesnar. So, well, he slayed the beast in Italy. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Jimmy Uso warns LA Knight, yeah, that to stay out of bloodline business. LA Knight has declared himself for the King of the Ring tournament or the qualifying matches. So yeah, man, LA Knight needs something. We need a King of the Ring this year, or we need a Money in the Bank. Yeah,
I mean, we're in 26. When would you say like the peak LA Knight response was? Was it like 24, like late 24? Or is it earlier than that?
23, 24. Yeah,
Like, yeah, when was that Money in the Bank? Like 23? Yeah, it was 23 because that was the London one, I think. So it's been a
I
long
mean, but
time.
he's still maintained it, but obviously it's not as loud as it once was. But he still gets a great reaction.
It's good to see LA Knight back. And he's, kind of like not all over the place, but well, he kind of is all over the place. He's like talking to the Usos, he's talking to Seth, he's talking to the Street Profits. He's just like almost kind of like the Yoda of Raw, just kind of going and instilling his wisdom, or not, maybe not his wisdom, his opinion to everybody.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Seth Rollins defeats Montez Ford in a very fun match.
Yeah, good match. We've been expecting slash waiting for the Montez Ford kind of singles run to occur, and we got a little glimpse here with him and Seth, and I thought they did very good work, and it was just a very straightforward match. It's two baby faces who don't really like each other, but they're kind of like fighting it out.
I heard somebody say he's going to join the Vision. What are your teas?
Well, maybe not just because the Vision is cursed, but clearly they need bodies. So if like you were to turn Ford
Speaking of
heel,
bodies, pause. Bronson Reed's looking jacked.
he's looking yacked. He's not a thick boy anymore.
No.
Damn, I gotta get on his program. But
Yeah.
I mean that could be a fun kind of addition to the Vision, just because they need people, and not saying like they should just turn him because of the injuries, but it would be like a nice little boost for Ford. So I'm open to that. And you get the kind of Paul Heyman rub, but Ford is one of those guys that he doesn't need anyone talking for him.
He does not. Bailey and Lyra defeat the Judgment Day.
Yeah, solid match. I think this episode of Raw overall was probably one of the better ones of the year. You know, you could say maybe they got a little kick in the ass from Double or Nothing to kind of like say we got to kick ourselves into gear, get ready. But yeah, I thought this was a solid match. All the workers involved, you would expect it to be a good match. So yeah, good match and a good Raw overall.
Yeah, they're Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega talk on AEW.
Yeah, so they did one of those kind of flashbacks to what happened after Double or Nothing to kick off Dynamite. And this was one of the best segments I think AEW's ever produced. Osprey was getting interviewed from uh, Renee Paquette, and he goes into the locker or to the doctor's area, and Kenny was there. And Kenny and Osprey had a talk. They were sitting down on the table and they just had like an honest conversation about where they are. Kenny questioned about Osprey joining or being with the Death Riders. Then Osprey kind of shot back at Kenny saying that, you haven't been around. So why are you here to like kind of boss me and say what I need to do if you're not even here? And Omega was like, fair point, but I'm going through some stuff and I just let don't trust those guys because if they have the opportunity, they'll go after you. And then lurking in the background was John Moxley, and Moxley didn't attack Kenny. He didn't really say anything bad. He just kind of like gave him the death look, handed a bag of ice to Osprey, and they went on their merry way. I thought it was just a fantastic segment. Good tension between three stars, three people that everyone likes, but also kind of showing that they're all on different roads, but they're all kind of like in the same, they're all on a 3-lane road right now, but they're going to avert off and go in different directions eventually. Going back to Mr. X's question about the Death Riders and Osprey, I think it's just going to be straightforward if they train him to the championship, but there will be a point where Osprey and Moxley are going to have a match. Now, will that be before All In or will it be after All In? Presumably, once Osprey wins a championship, we'll wait and see. I think after, because they All Out takes place relatively soon after All In, so I think an All Out match between Osprey and Moxley makes a lot of sense. So maybe that's the way they go. But fantastic. This is kind of like the theme of the show, I thought, of just kind of having a bunch of different people going after the championship and kind of staking their claim for what they want to do.
I see. I like that. I like that.
Kevin Knight came out. He kind of cut his,
Yeah. Hey, man. Go soar with the jet, man. Come on now.
he
Hello.
he he cut his heel promo after attacking Darby Allin at the very end of Double or Nothing.
Still the TNT champ, right?
Still the TNT champ.
Him and Speedball. They about to cook.
It was a very kind of basic heel promo, so nothing really.
He did the you people.
Eh, not really. He just kind of like blamed Darby for letting everybody down. He didn't he didn't go after the crowd. He did do basically a six or suck line from because they were in Philly at the time, but it was very simple. It wasn't anything like out of this world, but it was an okay first start, I thought, for Kevin Knight. But I think if he gets some little more stuff to sink his teeth into, there was a backstage segment with him and Kyle Fletcher backstage, and that was enticing to see what those two could do together. But Speedball came out and kind of said, you're better than this. Why'd you do that? Blah 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 blah, and just Speedball kind of being the dopey kind of very white meat baby face that he is, was very gullible, and Kevin Knight attacked him. So clearly they're doing, Kevin Knight and Speedball around the corner. How soon? I don't know. Jericho beat Ricochet, so that was the reason why Ricochet didn't do the job at Stadium Stampede, is just so we can do the job here. So that one seems to be over, but then after the fact, Tommaso Ciampa attacked Jericho, so I guess
I'm excited for that.
So I guess Jericho's just going to wrestle all the bald guys on AEW.
Hey man, if they need another one,
I
say the
know, yeah.
word.
Journey Fatu?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a bold fellow that can wrestle for that thing. But MJF had a celebration for his championship and just great stuff from Max. Just him being arrogant, going all over the place, and then this is kind of where all the people kind of not all the people, but Mark Briscoe came out. He challenged MJF for the championship. MJF said no, and then Roosh came out and he came out and he had a match earlier in the show. He won. And then he challenged MJF, and MJF said, "Okay, yeah, sure." And so MJF and Roosh are going to challenge wrestle for the championship
Well,
next week on Dynamite.
Maxwell said that if Briscoe was the world champion, the company would go out of business, brother.
And he said, Roosh has a good look, he's a good wrestler, and he's got his good catchphrase. Which Philip, I don't know if you ever knew this, but if you mess with a bull, you get the horns. Which
Horns.
I don't
You
know
get
if
the horns,
Roosh
you
is
get
aware.
horny.
I don't know if Roosh is aware of how like lame and corny it is, but I think people get into it just because how dumb it is. But uh, you know,
Bro, dude, Austin said what? Like, who cares?
he says it all the time, and he makes it seem like it's like the most threatening thing in the world, which I get a kick out
Is
of.
he a heel?
He is. He technically is a heel. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Bruce, I mean,
um,
he had a very enjoyable ROH world title run. I know when they were kind of like on the downside and like before Tony Khan bought them, but he's done some good stuff as a head champion for a company. So I mean, this would be a nice step for him to go out there with Maxwell Jacob.
yeah. So then we had some Owen Hart Cup matches on this week's Dynamite, and all the matches were pretty predictable. Mark Davis defeated Jungle Jack Perry, and so that sets up Osprey and Mark Davis next week. That's gonna be really fun to see the two United Empire guys go at it. And we also had Brody King and Claudio Castagnoli wrestle. Crowd wasn't like super into it, but it was still a solid match, and Brody won to set up Swerve and Brody King. They did lead into kind of an after. It was a 3 hour thing, but this was technically Collision. Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher got into it a little bit. Takeshita is kind of a loose associate of the conglomeration right now, so that's his kind of buddies to go after the Don Callis family. And Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander had their blow up match in a Philly street fight, and Statlander won. So I guess we're not going to see Shida for the next few months now. So, but that was AEW once again. Good post show. No real teases for Forbidden Door quite yet, but we are a month away. So we'll see on that front. And this could be, like I said, with the new acquisition, this could be the last one ever. So I will be intrigued to see what they do with the international talent of Stardom, CMLL, and New Japan for Forbidden Door. Because thus far, all the matches that are teasing right now are all just AEW people.
We got to see what's gonna happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Clash in Italy is happening this Sunday. In was it Turin, Italy? SmackDown's going on right now. Cody Rhodes and Gunther just had their segments. Um, yeah, so they've got some good stuff going. Cody and Gunther for the WWE Championship. I think the ring general takes it home. Oh,
I think Cody continues his run. Maybe in this one will be on ESPN. Um, I could see some sort of shenanigans to where maybe it's like a non-finish, but or maybe Sami Zayn does get involved, like you said, but he's Sami Zayn and he messes up and he accidentally like attacks Gunther instead of Cody. But I think Cody retains and he continues.
all right. Yeah, I wish we got 6 matches, bro. They could have thrown 6 matches on this thing. What other match could happen? Like, yeah, what other match you could have thrown on there? I would have liked to see 6. Um, Sol Ruka gets an opportunity at the Women's Intercontinental Championship versus Becky Lynch. Sol at Saturday Night's main event went for the Soul Snatcher, and she caught Corrupt Car. So she won by disqualification. And I mean, this is leading to Jessica Carr versus Becky Lynch. We all know this. When and where, that's the thing. I heard Sam Roberts pitch SummerSlam. I wouldn't be mad if they did that and Sol Ruka goes on and wins the Intercontinental Championship and just did what she did with the North American title and just has a really fun run and just has a very fun good matches. Um I'm gonna go Sol Ruka, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, Soul has not had the best of run here on the main roster. The Soul Snatcher, as much as I will say it's a bad move. Unfortunately, she has not been hitting it. The spot on Saturday night's main event didn't look good. It was a tough watch, but so hopefully she has a good showing here, and I think I'll agree with. I think Soul Ruka does get the win.
All right. Jade Cargill takes on Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. Cargill pinned Rhea Ripley at Saturday night's main event, but I think Rhea is retaining the championship.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. This one I believe will also be on ESPN. And I think Rhea just kind of just beats her. Just
All
very
right.
similar to what happened at WrestleMania.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a WrestleMania rematch. I mean, there's a lot of WrestleMania rematches, really. But Oba Femi goes up against the Beast Brock Lesnar. Brock got that.
Yeah, it looks as though we will probably get like a rubber match. And Brock will get the win.
Minneapolis?
Possibly, a lot of people want that Gunther retirement match.
I don't have to do that. I get it. I understand. I understand.
I the thing is, like, they do have a little bit of a Obafemi problem, and if you just kind of have him lose to Brock, you get that out the way, so you don't book yourself into a corner. You can have him kind of sell a little bit, show some ass, and he can be a little bit in peril at times instead of being this dominant force. So I think you kind of you gave him the big one on the big stage. Take a little bit
He
of a
won
loss
when he
here.
needed when he absolutely needed to. Now going back and losing to a pissed off Beast that doesn't hurt him at all.
And then it'll make more, not going to make him, but if he comes back and then he wins the feud overall, then you're fine. You're kind of right back where you started.
Yeah, yeah. But I got Brock Lesnar.
Same. I do believe Brock will get his win back here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it will be the main event as it should be. It's for the Ulafala. It's for the head of the table. It's for the to rule over the family, and it is also for the heavyweight championship of the world. Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf, goes up against the OTC Roman Reigns. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just people talking themselves in to Jacob winning. I mean, you have
Look,
Roman Reigns back, and you're just gonna have him lose 2 months or not even like a month into his reign. I don't see that happening. But I mean,
look, man, I
he's
want
not
Roman,
he's not gonna be there. He's not gonna be here in June allegedly. So
but he has. They announced June dates. He's gonna be here.
well, he's not gonna be in Saudi.
Yeah. Look, man, we're talking about the guy that held the title for 1,316 days. I want him to hold it for 1,317, 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? Ah, I think Jacob will look strong in a defeat, and I think Roman Reigns retains the heavyweight championship of the world.
Yeah, with this being the tribal combat, we'll probably have a lot of shenanigans. We might even, get Solo and everyone on that side involved as well. We could get some sort of major angle, return, debut, something to kind of maybe take the sting off of Jacob losing. But I agree. I think it's like the MJF thing last week of don't talk yourself out. It's clearly what they're setting up is Roman winning, and I think that's what we're going to do. As much as people maybe want to see something different.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us. We'll be back to recap Clash in Italy and other things in the world of professional wrestling. Thank you guys so much. As always, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.